Welcome to this look at new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. Another Friday runs up and slaps us in the face. They come round so quickly. It is the 19th of March. We have some new mods. There are a few updates. As usual, from top left, the Class Xerion 3000 saddle track by Smetty. The TLX 2020 series by 82 Studio, that has had a bale loading attachment added and the configuration for the Camp It, but I don't think that's out yet. I couldn't find it anywhere. The MF trailer by Eric Isaac, Agro mods, the Joskin Silospace 2245 by Bueno, the New Holland Case IH Draper pack by Agro Tonho, the Open Chicken Coop by Top Ace 888, the Hanger Pack by Sphinx, and the Residential Container by Neroxk have all had updates today. Before I start, I just want to thank Adrian and Tio. Thank you very much for your generosity. Very kind. In front of me we have got the, well, it's saying Granger silo. I don't know if that's a typo, but it's supposed to be grain silo, but it says Granger silo, so that's what we'll go with. This is by Vergamini Modding and Lostgamer, 11.63 megabytes download. This is a multi-crop silo. It's 22 slots, 300,000 litre capacity. We've got a kind of simulated grain dryer thing going on here with a bit of sound too. All very nice. Lighting is automatic. That comes on I think it was 8 PM I think it came on. I only know that because I had to skip through to get a crop to grow to show you something later on. Putting into the silo is done here just by this grate. The trigger came up just after it, about here, and taking out of the silo is done from just up there, and the start filling icon will appear when you're under it. This is under silos. 50,000 to buy, which is amazing for a 300,000 litre capacity. As I said, multi-fruit. So yeah, not bad at all. Nice detailing, nice texturing. That's by Vergamini Modding and Lostgamer. Next we've got the Grain Storage Cavern. This is by lancyboi. This is 7.35 megabytes download, 16 slots on console. That is seasons ready, by the way, as is this. I think this is probably going to be my thumbnail. This is a cavernous building. It is absolutely huge. You are going to need a rather large space to be able to place this, and I would flatten the ground first. Loads of great detail, nice texturing, nice weathering, all the various different galvanized steel and all the, the ridged metal sheeting with rust effect on it. Yeah. It's very, very nice. Side doors open. Main door opens. And it is a huge main door. You'll have no problem getting any vehicle in and out of here. When we come inside, thank you lancyboi for the lighting. What I will do is just switch here and then do it. I do like it when you get those lights that kind of come on that staggered effect and go off in that staggered effect. That's very cool. So we've got lighting on the roof, lighting down the side walls as well. It's just huge. And it's 16 slots. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, you will find this under sheds. There's not a separate category for caverns. The grain storage, 150,000 to buy. Slot count will go down from 16 to 1, as you can see there. Yeah, by lancyboi. Very cool. The next one we're going to have a look at, we might have a look at it here first, then we'll go and look at it in the real world on the map. Also grain storage, this is by Meister 200, 4 slots, 4.93 megabytes download. It is seasons compatible, 55,000 to buy. And this is what it looks like. No sound effect that I could discern. No lighting inside. A building for storage, whatever you wish to store in it. That's by Meister 200. Next, we've got these. This is the small tools pack. This is by Michael6920. 1.10 megabyte to download. It's one slot for the front bucket and one slot for the barrel spike. These aren't front loader attaches, these are direct to 3-point. This one you'll find under weights, that one you'll find under baling technology. That can be configured as either a weight or have a 750 litre capacity as a bucket if you want to have it like that. So under tools, if we go along to weights, right at the very end there, 400 to buy. It will take everything on its in its 750 litre capacity. We can change the main colour to anything on that palette. Then let's say 750 litre capacity, or you can just have it as a weight and just click it on like any other weight does. It doesn't say what the weight is in its weight configuration. I'm not too sure. And then the other one under baling technology, 750 to buy. We can change the design colour, which I think is the prongs. Yep. And the main colour, which is the rest of it. Both of these, we have the option to automatically raise or lower, L1 and circle. And the same with the back. But then we can also, with L1 and right stick side to side, we can tilt. And then up and down, we can raise and lower manually, tilt manually if you want to. The same with the front. So L1 and right stick basically for tilt, raise and lower if you don't want to do it automatically. The thing with doing it automatically, it will bring it down to a point, but if you are picking up off the floor, you are going to need to tilt it a little bit just to pick up whatever it is you want to pick up. So there you go. That's the small tools pack by Michael 6920. What I'm going to do is just drop that off. Drop that off. Next up, we've got the Joskin Silospace 2650. This is a rather large Joskin trailer. It's 55,500 litres, I think it is. It's 7.1 megabytes download, 14 slots on console. It's by Farming Pick by Chiko. It is a forage trailer, so it will only do your forage type crops, sugar cane, grass, hay, straw, silage, those kind of things. It won't do all crop types, but it is a really big trailer. Nicely detailed. There's also a push unload as well. It's not a tipper, so if you're in a confined space and you haven't got a lot of room. Actually, this went underneath that multi-fruit silo. I didn't think it would go through the door, but it did. It was surprisingly spacious. This is under trailers. 65,600 to buy. As you can see down the bottom, wood chip as well. But yeah, it's a forage trailer. Options available. We can have Trelleborg or Michelin tyres. There's no other choices within those. You can just have either one of those. Then cover, yes or no. Those are your options. What I will do is hook up, because what we do also have is at the front, if we open cover first, like so. Nice smooth animation. But we also have on, there we go, lift front loader arm. Right stick up and down will move that front section. So if you are using this with a forage harvester, or whether you're going along next to it, that will allow stuff to be blown into it without hitting the sides into real world, that kind of thing. But yeah, lighting. And unload L1, R1 and triangle. As you can see, the floor is moving. Spinners on there just to make sure everything comes out and gets broken up and not compacted and clumped. And that's it really. So the Joskin Silospace 2650 by Farming Pick by Chiko. Next, yeah, we're going to have a look at this next, I think. This is the pickup F250 Brazil. This is by Conta, Comigo modding, 8.65 megabytes download. Wrong one. There we go. It's 7 slots on console. It's a nice looking pickup. Got a kind of chunky feel to it. I do like the sort of knobbly tyre option on this. It's got quite a high horsepower and not very expensive either. I will say though, the texturing is a little bit flat. Is that the best way of putting it? And also at the front, we've lost the light. There's no lighting detail. The lights do come on. It's kind of chromed across the front, but the lights are as well. Now, I get it, some vehicles do have like chrome coverings and stuff that raise up and, you know, that kind of thing. I just thought it looked a bit odd because there was no kind of glass on that. We do have straps in the back. The rear tailgate does come down. We do have the option with antenna, with trailer hook, or both. But I think for the price and the horsepower, even with those few little things, it's actually not a bad bit of kit. 26 grand, 203 horsepower. That's pretty good. Yeah, so you can see kind of there as well as you swing across. But we can change the main colour to anything on that palette. And there are quite a few different options with metallics and yeah, there's a whole load to choose from. I won't go through all of them. But we can have the option of Lizard or Michelin. The Michelin tyres are smaller, as you can see. Then we can have Design Standard with antenna, with rear hitch, or with antenna and rear hitch. Those are the options. If we hop in. First person, inside. It's nicely detailed. There's not a lot going on. We turn the engine on and off. The dials come on. Actually, when we turn the lights on though, the lights don't come on the dash. There's nothing that comes on the dash. Doors don't open and close. But if we turn the lights on from here, the lights do work. Rear tailgate, L1 and X. As you can see, straps inside. Turn them on or off from inside, or you can do them manually from outside. I mean, even the bed itself, there's not a lot of sort of texturing or detail within the bed itself. Lights off. But weirdly, like I said, despite that, I do like the design of it. Brakes, I did notice actually when I brought it out. Reversing is fine. If I brake now, stop's okay. When you start to pick up speed though, when you're braking in a straight line, and that's without anything on the back of it as well, it takes a little while to slow down and stop. But yeah. That's the pickup, F250 Brazil by Conta Comigo Modding. Which brings me on to... I just need to go and get a tractor. Bear with me a second. I've got this. This is the Sipstar 43012T. It's by Bgamer003. 10.89 megabytes download. 11 slots on console. This is a 4.3 metre windrower. It's trailed rather than 3-point link. And it's also got another interesting feature, which again, I don't think I've come across in this particular configuration, but it's an interesting looking thing, and you'll see in just a second what I mean by that. If we go to Tools, it's under Windrowers. There are two different options. You can have the option there with the black sections, and the option there with the yellow. And then you've got here support, where you just got a stand, or you've got support wheels. That's the same on both. 8,500, 13 miles an hour it'll run out. Same thing with that one, wheels on or off. So what we'll do is we hook up to it and unfold L1 and X. Unfolds it. So we have got the option now, if I open up my help menu. Under L1, if I go right stick side to side, we can bring that in or out, which if it's flinging it out to that side, that's kind of the board that stops the grass and stuff going any further than that. But raising and lowering it is not done automatically. If I do L1 and lift loader arm, this happens. That's pretty cool. I'd like to say, I'm trying to think of another one I've come across that does that. Now that may get a little bit fiddly if you've got to do it yourself, because normally like L1 and circle will automatically raise and lower, so you've got to do it on the stick. But we turn it on and then bring it down. There we go, 4.3 metres. I don't know, is that 4.3 metres? It doesn't seem to be that wide, but anyway, little windrow out to the left, and then obviously when you get to the end of a row or when you want to stop, you lift it up or turn it off, whichever. I mean, in all honesty, you're probably going to end up, it'd be easier just to do L1 and X, make you turn, then press L1 and X, turn it back on again, I guess. But, you know, that's just playing devil's advocate, really. But yeah, I do like that. So that's the Sipstar 43012T by Vergamini 003. Just turn it off and we'll fold the windrower. Cool. Next, turn that off. We have got the Harrow. This is by, I want to get this right, YAGIZ. I think it's YAGIZ. YAGIZ modding. It's a 2.5 metre wide, well, it's a Harrow. It comes under cultivators, but you've got the bottom sections are on chains, so they kind of move around independent of the rest of the frame. This is under cultivators. Did I say what it was? It's 3.03 megabytes download, 3 slots on console. Right at the very end, 3,000 to buy. Requires 50 horsepower and will run at 8 miles per hour. Options available. We can change the main colour to anything on that palette. So if we just hook up to it, I mean, it cultivates. It does it to 2.5 metres, but doesn't hurt to see the sections underneath moving out. You see on the chains, a little bit of movement there. Drop it down. We are preparing our seed bed. That's the Harrow by YAGIZ modding. Next, we have this. This is, I want to get it right. This is the Lizard HV. This didn't show up on the website, but it is in the mod hub as a new mod today. This is 9.65 megabytes download, 11 slots on console. This is by MattDo55 and Nico Do55. There are 3 options available in this. There's a 4.3 metre, a 6.3 metre, and this one, the 8.3 metre. It does have a rear trailer hitch as well. So if you've got a, I mean, you'd have to get a seeder that was the right width to get it to kind of work properly, but you could put a seeder on behind that maybe, assuming, of course, that trailer hitch works. I did try and find a couple of ones to hook up to it, but they were the wrong widths, so I'll be honest, I didn't go any further with it than that, other than looking at it as a cultivator. So under cultivators, the HV, 7,250 for the base model. It requires 140 horsepower to pull, run at 8 miles per hour. Now, it does say, if you look up to the left, it does say 140 horsepower, 8.3 metres, but this is the HV 430. When I change these configurations, those numbers don't change. It still says 8.3, although quite clearly that is the 430, the 4.3 metre. That's the 630, the 6.3 metre, and that is the 830, the 8.3 metre. Now, I would have thought the horsepower requirement would have been less for the 4.3 and then a little bit more. Maybe that will get changed in update or something like that. But anyway, that's what it says. 140 horsepower. Goes up to an 8.3. There's no colour option choices or anything like that on it. So we shall hook it up, open it up. Price-wise as well, I think, what was it, 9,000 or something? I didn't actually say the prices, did I? But I think even for the 8.3 metre, it was only 9,000 and something for an 8.3 metre cultivator. That's pretty good. Drop it down. And away we go. So the Lizard HV by MattDo55 and Nico Do55, which I think brings me on to the last of the mods for today and this week. Now, in the updates earlier, at the very start of the episode, the New Holland and Case IH Draper headers by Agro Tonho had an update. That update was to add in the blower attachment on the front. Now, we have had a mod like this before, I'm going to test it again just to be 100% transparent and clear and make sure it's okay. But this is the Pack John Deere 700FD, also by Agro Tonho. So this has got a standard header in 3 different sizes, and it's got the same header but with the blowers, which are supposed to improve yield and that kind of thing. In the previous versions by other modders, that hasn't affected yield in the slightest. But it doesn't hurt to check, just in case. I don't want to take it as you know, as read that it won't, because you know that's when you get caught out. I have found in the past. This is 21.05 megabytes download. The slot counts are 21, 22, and 22. So you'll see in 3 different headers in a minute, and as I said, by Agro Tonho. Under headers, we've got the John Deere 730FD at 9.1 meters, as it says there, 21 slots. So we can have that. We can change them where it says design color or main color. If I change the design color, let's say to red, and the main color to, I don't know, blue, nothing changes on there. That's because that's for the blower attachment. So if we add that on like that, the bar is the main color and the drop down blowers are the design color, main color and design color. So you can have each one as with an air bar as well. I personally am thinking they're aesthetic, but we are going to check anyway. So 9.1, 10.6 meter and a 12.2 meter. Each one has the same options with a blower or without, sorry, air bar blower. So what I'm going to do, I have the field, I have it flattened at either end, so each strip will be exactly the same. The headers are the same width, they're set at the same height. One's got the air bar, one hasn't. I'm going to hire a worker to do that strip. I'm going to do exactly the same with this one because I don't want there to be any possible problem that I did something wrong or anything like that. Just to see whether or not there is any difference between the yield. I can't see that there will be. It would be cool though if there was a bit of a tweak in there, that if you are using the air bar you did get a slightly better yield, but this is where it will go horribly wrong now, won't it? These things happen, don't they? Right, so with the air bar, it's 1,541 litres. I didn't even look at the other one, I was too busy trying to get it into there. And it has to be that side, doesn't it? 1,520. So that's a 20 litre difference over one strip. Could that be an anomaly? That's quite significant on one strip. Imagine doing an entire field. Is that a mistake, or do you actually get a better yield? I mean, it's showing us a better yield. That's a 20 litre difference on one strip. I haven't misread those numbers, have I? 1,520. 1,541. The strips are identical. No difference in anything on them. Header widths are exactly the same. Have we got an air bar that actually gives a better yield? Well, all I would say is this is just the mod review of it. Further testing may be required if you want to go off and test some fields and stuff like that and see if it does actually make a difference. I'm going to have to go away and test that myself now. I am intrigued. Anyway, on that surprise, that shock, we've come to the end of the mods for today and this week. I hope you have found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do, have a wonderful weekend, and thanks for watching.